broadcast as radio impulses into space. And all that are being heard on every radio telescope on the entire Earth.
Did you think it was?
How you doing, people? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully my microphone is on. It is. Is the music too loud? If the music's too loud, then we have to turn it down a bit, but hopefully that's not. I can hear it. Hopefully you can as well. Aldrin's in chat. Yes, I know. Let me get there first. Hold on. Who have we got? HG Wells, Llama, Monivia, Bugs, Arhog Wild, Paul is too good. Thank you for the resub. That was quick. Rick Denine, DJ Nku, Ben Hall, Buddha, Don't Sweat It, Spirit, Aldrin, Mouth Breather, another resub, thank you very much. It's a good start, isn't it? Oh yeah. Thank you very much for the resub. Mind Distortion, Erroneous, 2 Sandwiches, cool name. Breggle the Wild, thank you for the resub. Peon Grim, also thank you for the resub. Keyhole, how you doing? James Bond, showing off the ninja stars, very nice indeed. Is that music too loud? No one has said yes or no yet. Impending Bard, how you doing? Darkheart, welcome. It is quite loud. For me, anyway. No, it's fine? You can hear me clearly, yes? Music is fine. Okay, good. So, we're going to have... Balance seems fine. Excellent. It's fine on my end. Hello, music is fine. Excellent. Willows, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Okay, good. So, quick disclaimer for those of you that know how the stream is run and for those of you that don't. I'm going to be reading this live. Sorry if that's confusing. If anyone tries to get ahead of the streamer to try and get some form of self-validation out of the audience by going, I've already read this bit, insert spoiler here, or tries to get ahead of me, the mods will nuke you. Because it's really rude. It's like having someone on stage reading a story to you and someone just jumps up and tells you what the ending is. shut the fuck up if you're one of those people. It's not helpful. But for the rest of you, if you've already read it, great. Don't get ahead of me. If you haven't already read it, you're going to hear stuff. You'll be slightly surprised that there aren't too many combat changes. Zos did do what they say they were going to do, and they did try to calm that down and focus more on fixes. The butler did it. Whoa. What is that? First of all, thank you for the sub. Complete each level to the stream. Stream to new viewers. What's a boost train? We have a boost train. Yoko, thank you very much. Did I arrive on time? You did arrive on time, Queen Shadowmere. We have a hype train, but it's called a boost train. Boost this stream. Oh. Ha ha. Thank you very much, Rogers. Much appreciated. Bit and cake in the chat. So apparently this is something new. Looking forward to all the stuff and things. Bring it on. Oh, good. I never saw it before, but it looks good for you. Apparently, I mean, this is... What the fuck does this do? Complete level 1 combined with contribution of 10... Oh, I see. 10 tier 1 subs or 5,000 bits. We'll do it. Help Xynode get discovered with Boost. Boost recommends his stream to new viewers across Twitch to help grow the creators community. So if you push that hype train, I get more views. Oh, that's interesting. Spam it. Subs and follows and bits and all that shit. Bulldoggo, thank you very much. My eyes are fucking stinging me today. Right, I want to turn the music down just a little bit because it is getting fucking loud for me. Not off. There we go. Hype, indeed. That hype train actually gets me more viewers. So every level... Wow! Mike with the Macon. What a legend. Did someone say hype train? They did. The mod just hit me with 5 gifted subs. Thank you very much indeed. Now to 298. Daz, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Spell Singer, also welcome. Thank you very much indeed for that resub. It's international talk like Pirate Day. Patch notes must be read accordingly. Indeed. Aldrin, thank you very much indeed for the bits. You are the Dragonborn. I'll read in a minute. You know the rules, people to fight again from scratch. If you kill the Dragonborn, you'll take the place to stream. Have to kill you instead. 2 sandwiches tall. Thank you for the bits as well. So yeah, the new hype train actually helps promote the channel. So the more levels I get, the more people see the stream. That is actually pretty cool, especially on patch day, because I fucking need that. Right, let's get into the stuff and things. If you've read this already, I don't care. So just relax and let the streamer talk. But I'm also happy that you're excited. There are changes. There are a few combat changes, and there are some OP as fuck new sets. No spoilers. If you haven't already seen it, I'm going to explain it. If you have already seen it, shh, relax. Calm yourself, Iago. So we've got Tilia Gaming. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Dude, the new hype train is nuts. If the hype train levels are completed, not only do you get emotes, but you also boost the channel. Solara! Thank you for the resub, much appreciated. Well, now, children, it's that wonderful time. Now, Q Forums insane 3, 2, 1. Dude, fuck it. I don't really give a fuck. Forums are an amazing place. They have some really good places and posts and threads for resources, but they are not exempt to dickheads. They do exist. They exist walking down the street. We just have to get over it. Have you heard the extended Jubilee event? They have. They've also extended my stream by 9 minutes because I haven't even started speaking about the patch notes yet. All I've come in is with disclaimers and how to run a hype train, because the new hype train is a boost train. Alderaan with the bits. Should we wait for the hype train to be finished before we start reading patches? Would that encourage it, or... Yeah, yes, it would. Yes, it would. Wow! Oh, dude! Thank you very, very much indeed. Massively appreciated. Bit and cake in the chat. James Bond is now up to a whopping 1,090 gifted subs on the channel. We have a dead Dragonborn, people. Holy shit! Dragonborn. Wow. You know the rules, people to fight sets again from scratch. If you kill the Dragonborn, you'll take the place to stream. I have to kill you instead. And of course, make sure you say thank you to the gifter. I got sniped so hard with that, James. You did. You got absolutely fucking wrecked. Hype train level 3. In fact, boost train level 3. If you've just joined, boost train is different to hype train. It acts the same, but it's got a little bonus to it. 1, if you pull the drop-down menu, it'll tell you exactly how many points to the next level. 2, you will still get emotes. And 3, it puts the streamer higher up the directory. How fucking cool is that? So the higher the hype train, the more people we get in. And then we can convert them to easy sork. That was half a joke. Trevelyan, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Happy patch notes. Dude, there's some stuff and things. We're going to go over them. So there's new zones, a new zone area with two kind of sections to it, which is Galen. And obviously we're going to get to look at this, hopefully, for the new Firesong, what do we call it? Update, if you like. And also, you've got character templates. So if you are going on the PTS, when you go into the character select screen, at the top left-hand side or the back button on your control pad, you'll bring up a list of different character templates. You can have one at 0, you can have one at level 25, you can have one at max champion points. So do that first before you make your character. I thought you said Bob Train? Bob Train? No. Hype Train is shit. It is indeed. You've got 3 minutes left. 16% in. If you get the next level, we'll get some more views. Also, if you did watch this on the live stream, the ZOS live stream, Bethesda live stream, whatever, they had, they showed you the docks where you've got those sea puppy doggy things jumping in and out of the water, and the boats actually move. They're pretty cool. We do have a new deck, by the way, for Tales of Tribute, so if you're interested in that stuff, excite. Mind Distortion with the bits, thank you very, very much indeed. Massively appreciated. So we've got 2 new delves, 2 new world bosses, volcanic vent world events, and new sets which are coming out underneath. We're going to read those in a moment. Also, you've got a new zone story which comes kind of as the extra or the follow-up from High Isle, and of course it's the end of the story for that section of the year. Converting any of your fantastic builds is a great idea overall. Thank you very much. 26% in, 2 minutes 30 remain. If you beat that hype train level, you will get more emotes and you will push me up the ranks on Twitch. DJ, guess what? Boost train gets me more traffic. It's new. It's new. It's not just for me, it's for me again. How fucking cool is that? DJ, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Right. I'm going to read these very carefully because I know people lose their shit because on paper means lots of things, but testing is different. Overland sets. So there's 3 new Overland sets, much like there normally is. Light, medium, and heavy. And there's 3 new crafting sets as well, which you can make in any way you like. Toxicity, the OG. Love my Toxicity, indeed. So, light armor set. Crit chance. Crit chance. Weapon and spell damage, and while you have a food buff active, so eat your food, your critical damage and critical healing is increased by a whopping 13 fucking %. That's high. That's very high. You have to watch your cap levels, obviously, because 125% is a cap. On a Templar, that's incredibly fucking easy to crack, even if you don't have that nanofuck fucking monster set, or however you pronounce it, nunfuck. I don't know. Nunfuck. It's TH, not an F. But on some classes, depending on your build, that could be fucking really helpful. Or you could just be a sneaky solo fucking Nightblade and stab people in the back with massive crit damage, which would be awesome. Medium, stam recovery, flat stam. So unusual stats there. Normally you would see weapon damage or spell damage or crit or something, but it's double recovery and a flat. And this is actually quite OP, to be fair. Healing yourself or an ally grants the target minor courage and minor force for 10 seconds. So both beast trap buff, if you like, and the Yonkrin buff. Also, this can affect each target once every 12 seconds. So there's a 2-second gap, which is actually pretty nuts, because if you consider that over time, that is more efficient than... I've forgotten the name of the fucking set. My brain has stopped. Female. Where's my brain stopped? Bastion, Alkosh, Moondancer. Someone tell me what it is. I've forgotten. The Healy set. I love it. It's a fucking really good set. My brain has stopped. Hype train is finished. Congratulations. I forgot what it's called. Twilight, that's the one. Twilight Remedy. So Twilight Remedy, when you activate it, it gives you a 15-second buff and a heal over time. This obviously doesn't give you a heal over time. You've got to make sure you do the healing first, but that is a lot longer. So instead of 15 up, 5 down, giving you a 75% uptime, this one is a little bit more efficient. So that's pretty cool. Twilight Remedy. There's so many fucking sets in the game, sometimes I go blank. I know exactly which one I mean, and I can't think what it's fucking called. But anyway, that is slightly more effective, but you do have to consider, obviously, you don't have the minor Aegis and you don't have the heal that goes with it. But given 2 minor buffs like that, that's actually pretty fucking strong. So if you could, it's a sore point, I know, because some people have gone ahead. Don't go ahead of me. I'm just going to say it out loud before we get there. If you were to, say, Healing Springs or Vigor someone, then all you have to do is heal them and they get these bonuses. Yes, that also stacks with, what the fuck is it called? Brain has stopped today. Spell Cure, because that's a major. 20 minutes cooldown. The set doesn't have a cooldown, no, but if you're a healer and you've got only one major synergy that people can take advantage of, obviously you're locked out to that one thing. So what people mainly tend to do is they normally bring 1 or 2 synergies, maybe some bubbles or something like that. But what you have to consider is if you're a Templar, for example, and you put down your ritual to heal everyone, and you put down bubbles or spears to give people synergies, maybe they take the spear or the bubble on cooldown, which is once every 20 seconds, so they can't take it any faster, but maybe they miss the Purify synergy because they take it off of another Templar, which means your set didn't proc. So 9 times out of 10, if you've got more than one Templar in the room and they're using the ritual, whether it be the Ritual of Retribution or the one that heals you, the synergy is the same. So you could lock each other out. So 9 times out of 10, depending on what's in your group, you'll find that there is a gap, yes. However, if you brought loads and loads of synergies and that's the only one you're taking, then no, you can have 100% uptime on it with the heal as well. But you won't then gain a minor courage. Someone else is going to have to wear that set. So basically, you've got 2 sets in one here, so someone else can be alleviated of that duty and can wear something else. Anyway, Bastion, it's been a long fucking day. So long. And patch streams are so fucking stressful. My brain is stopping forgetting what fucking sets are called. Stamina, health, stamina. Heavy set. So lots of resources for blocking, I guess, if you were a tank. Health if you want it, but it doesn't have to be for a tank. Digma Necro Healer. Awesome. Blocking an attack grants you a stack of inflection for 10 seconds, which can stack up to 3 times. And you can gain 1 stack every half a second. So 1.5 seconds worth of blocking. Ting, ting, ting. Done. Increases your Magicka and stamina recovery by 106 per stack. So a lot. 320-ish. 324? My brain doesn't work. 318 even. Over, well, forever, basically. If that holds for 10 seconds and you can consistently stack, I know you can only go to 3, but if the last one restarts the timer, much like some of the 5-second sets do, you can have that indefinitely. You can have 318 forever. But that depends on whether that falls off or not. But then if you get hit 3 times in a second and a half, I mean, that's a piece of piss to maintain. That's quite a big bonus, especially if you're stacking loads of stam resources, but utilizing Magicka abilities. Because, for example, on the Almost Immortal Warrior, he's got high recovery for a reason. The reason being his utility seals cost magic, but they don't scale off of it. So you just have fuck tons of recovery, so you can spam, 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 rather than spam to empty and can't recover. That is actually pretty high for that. Not necessarily game breaking or enough for me to want to change it on that build, but some builds might benefit from it, especially if they're suffering elsewhere. Not to mention, of course, recovery bonuses do stack on top of each other and they can scale quite high. Crafting, I know I've already gone ahead, so I'm not going to do that yet, but there's a set in here that's going to blow your fucking minds. Chimera's Rebuke, or Rebucky. Should we say Rebucky? We'll make that up. The Chimeras are new enemies, and they look fucking awesome. So if you haven't seen those already, get into the PTS and go and slap one. Max Magicka, max health, max stamina. Gaining resources from a fully charged heavy attack. Read this carefully. Gaining resources from a fully charged heavy attack also restores 2363 of the gained resource to 3 nearest allies to your target. The gained resource. So if you're using a Magicka based weapon like a staff and you heavy attack, you'll get magic back, and so will they. If you're using a physical weapon and you heavy attack, you get stamina back, and so do they. That is fucking mad. And for groups that are struggling in content that has lots and lots of CC, it could be in PvP or in PvE, whichever. Maybe you're getting stunned a lot in PvP and you can't fucking manage your resources, or maybe you are in Halls of Fabrication and you're getting stunned and fucking CC left, right, and center, and your magical bar is massive, but your stand bar is tiny. That would just keep refilling the fucking thing. And by the looks of it, it doesn't actually have a cooldown. So, like, every couple of seconds, you can just fill the group's resources. It's fucking nuts. More for close quarter fights with those particular people or dungeon stuff, I guess, but it's still pretty fucking hot. Blind Delusions, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Where these areas located? Just north of High Isle, I think. Is it north of it? It's around that area anyway. It's all part of the same structure. Recovery. Health, magic, and stamina. Boo. And after drinking a potion, gain 2, 4, 5 Magicka, health, and stamina recovery for 45 seconds. So basically, full uptime on a potion gives you full uptime on this bonus. That will stack with other recovery sets as well if you want to go a flat recovery. I don't know why you'd want to have that much, considering we've already got a set very, very similar to that. But, I mean, it's there. Have some fun with it. Maybe it'll work. Permafill your tank standby. Yeah, basically. Completely. All the time. I love that they're making crafted sets OP. Maybe kill stigma of crafted sets a lesser. The stigma's made up. That's the thing. There's nothing lesser about crafted sets. It depends on how you make them. We made a video recently doing a dungeon on PTS. It was a let's play video, and we went down to 160 champion points, only installed those, and we put on some random crafted sets just to underline that it really doesn't make a fucking difference. You use what works for you. You can build your build how you want, and you can still perform if you know what you're doing. Crafted sets in this game versus other games are incredibly fucking useful if you can find a use for them. Other games, it's more, well, crafted stuff is weaker. It's not like that. It just depends on what you preference and what you have access to at the time. But yeah, some of this stuff, especially this, really, really nice. And let's not forget, people have used fucking Mechanical Acuity and Turok's Pack, Juliana's, fucking... what the hell's the other one called? Hunter's Rage, all that kind of shit for so bloody long. They've never been useless. It's just that people want to try and make you think they are just because they want to force you into using something else. Maybe more remember Twice Born Star? That's what I thought. So many sets, so many choices. Correct. Player skill will get you further than the set bonuses. 152,000% accurate. That is very true. Lots of people try to force too much emphasis on champion points and gear and assuming that those two things will carry you in content. They won't. I still good. Of course it is. Mechanical Acuity is a favorite of mine once upon a time. Yeah, they changed it to make it a bit weird. It's really hard to get the last stack, but it's pretty good. It does feel like you've got more of an extension on the timer now, but the cooldown's a bit big. People still use New Moon Acolyte, Mechanical Acuity, and Turing, etc. Of course they do. Now, the last one, before we get to the mythics, don't spoil that. Crit chance, weapon and spell damage, crit chance, and adds 2,037 crit chance to your class abilities. Now, there is a set that increases weapon and spell damage to your class abilities as well. I will state that flat weapon and spell damage on class abilities only, or flat weapon and spell damage on any ability type or damage type only, doesn't actually generally outperform flat weapon or spell damage, because flat weapon or spell damage contributes to everything. Whereas that, on its own, being say like more lightning damage for this set or more fire damage for this set, is very niche. That tends to focus on just that, and the other stuff doesn't get buffed. Which is why some of the more niche sets that are based on certain damage types tend to have a bit more weapon and spell damage flat as normal everyday flat sets would give you. But again, when it comes to stuff like this, adding that much crit chance on top of what you might already have to, say, jabs, which you might just spam all fucking day long, is a bit bonkers. Your light attacks aren't going to get buffed. Your other abilities aren't going to get buffed. But if you were just, say, putting down a spear, maybe a one-bar build, who knows what, you were putting spear shards down, ritual down, power the light, having a Jesus beam, and then having your jabs, you wouldn't get any benefits from your lights and heavies as far as the crit chance is concerned, but every single one of your class skills would have a huge crit chance bonus. However, this is not that far afield than other crit sets that we have, if you add it all up, but they will stack, so take it or leave it. If you are confused about these numbers, by the way, I know they're really fucking confusing. It's 219 to 1% crit chance, if I remember correctly. So it's pretty good. Here we go. Hello, kind streamer. Ken, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Check this out. If you continuously sprint, I'm going to highlight it so you can see it. I know it's really, really small, but I'm reading it. Should we zoom in a little bit? How about that? Is that better? Can you see at the back? Good. If you continuously sprint for 1 second, you gain the ability to pass through enemies. Spoiler, you can do that anyway. You can dodge roll. However, enemies you pass through become charmed for 4 seconds, removing their ability to attack or cast abilities as they move towards you. Charming an enemy this way restores 678 stamina and magicka to you and heals you for the same amount. Charming an enemy removes you from stealth. So, I'm not sure the term should be charmed, because you don't tend to make them like you. You just seem to be locking them out. Enemies you charm for 4 seconds, removing their ability to attack and cast as you move towards you. So they're still moving towards you. They're still kind of aggroed, but they can't cast anything. So I think that should be silenced, or mesmerized, if you like. That's not the same as charmed. Charmed is when you turn something into a pet. Mesmerized is when it either follows or is stunned in place and doesn't do anything. Either way, the effect is there. That could be quite nasty. It's almost a reverse sphere. Bowled over, indeed. So, that If it actually makes you get aggroed, which it looks like it will, that would be a bit annoying because you're still going to have to wait for that fucking combat to disappear. But while running around on the Overland, that would be quite funny alongside Shadow Rider. You'd never get aggro off anything. You would never get any harm ever again while picking flowers. Would it work on players? Spirit, we're reading. We'll find out. Anti-snare for Dungeon and Zergan, maybe. I mean, that's also an issue, isn't it? If that did work in dungeons, and it did make the enemy still chase you, but also made them not attack, does that follow any cooldowns on stuns and CCs? Because silence generally does, because it carries a stun if you're using the negate bubble and shit like that. That could be a bit naughty. If that works and there's no cap on it, you could run through a trial as a whole group, if you all wore it, for example, and not get hit by anything. And then just hide around a corner and stack the entire fucking room. The whole lot. Drinks all around. Which would be really hilarious. You know when we go onto Imperial City Prison on stream and we put Nature's Bounty and Off Balance and that all together and we run through the fucking dungeon and try and get to a corner so we can blow them all up? Technically, if you did that, if this did work in that manner, you could basically never get hit on the way. Works in PvP and counts as a fear. You can break free and get CC immunity. Well, then rip. Like I said a moment ago, if it carries CC issues, then that could cause problems because then you can't fucking control the target. But if you're just trying to run around and pick flowers, it might be funny. Anyway, next one. Adds 300 Magicka recovery to start with. And sprint, roll dodge, bash, break free, sneak, and block. Now consume Magicka instead of stamina. Now, I know people are going to argue, oh, it's like the Ice Staff. It's not. The Ice Staff makes you block with a Magicka bar. Not all this shit. It doesn't make you sneak, break free, bash, dodge roll, and all that kind of stuff with it. Sprinting with a magic bar? Different. And you cannot regain Magicka while blocking, much like you would on your main resource bar if you were using blocking for anything other than an Ice Staff. Sneaking or sprinting, you can't gain from those either. You can gain stamina while blocking, sneaking, or sprinting. Do you know what this does? This flips. It flips your resource bar. The rules are flipped. So where you would be using like the Immortal Warrior, for example, my tank, he uses the large stand bar to block with and to stab with. But he utilizes high recovery in order to utilize utility Magicka abilities. You could flip that around. If you had more stam utility than you did mag, you could swap it around and be an actual Magicka tank as such, even though you're holding a sword and board. It's a bit fucking weird. Prisoners rags to that. Indeed. Miss Constance, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Cass, also welcome. It's quite interesting that they introduce stuff like that. Also, I mean, the mag recovery is there, which is quite helpful to start with, but obviously when you're blocking, you can't have the mag recovery. So maybe they ought to switch that around. If they're going to flip the whole bar, turn it into stam recovery instead. It's mad. It's actually pretty interesting, but we'll have to fuck with that. Now, who can say OP in caps? Here we go. Heavy belt, Sarabane's ward. Oh, I can see people coughing almost Immortal Warrior. Did I just turn my light off? Oh my god, I knocked my plug out. Hold on 1 second. Fuck's sake. That was dangerous. I just kicked the fucking plug out. Don't do that again. And then I got fucking zapped. Yes, I know. Firmware available. Fuck off. Oh, we had this last time.
I love weddings.
I'm back. Yeah, I took the plug out. You cannot move while bracing. If you don't know what that means, blocking. Okay, Jellyware, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. While bracing, you create a 12-meter zone of protection. Right? Allies within the zone increase their block mitigation by 30% and their health recovery by 950. If you were on the Almost Immortal Warrior, most of the time you don't have to block anyway, but you just block the big stuff. Every time you do, everyone in the group gets boosted, and if they have to block as well, they take a lot less damage. So there are mechanics where the whole group has to block. Now you get hit for fuck all. Not to mention, of course, if your tank is really shit and they forget to taunt stuff, but they just hold block all day long, you might get the aggro, and you might think, oh, I can block, but you're a DPS and you can't. Now you can, because you've got the 30% mitigation. You got block mitigation passives in the group without even fucking slotting them. But yes, you have to stand still. It can't do shit. There is a disclaimer with this one as well, which is in the show spoiler section, and that's if you're using the block ulti, you can't move. Block mitigation and health recovery only affects allies that are not the set wearer. So the tank or whoever's using it doesn't get the recovery bonus or the mitigation bonus, but everybody else does. And using the shield wall ability is at your own risk because you won't be able to move for the duration of the ultimate. We're going to mess with that. We have got a new deck for Tales of Tribute. I'm going to go back to this. This is fucking mad. This is absolutely mad. Doesn't say it doesn't stack, though. It doesn't say it doesn't stack. However, that is without a doubt going to be a named ability, and named abilities don't stack. If they did stack, however, that would be fucking broken and it would get fixed within a week. So heavy armor removable still combined, possibly. You wouldn't need it. You wouldn't need it at all, apart from not being knocked down. So it's fucking nuts. The thing is, with immovable, you can still dodge roll if you have to. And you can still move out of range or positions, because although you can't move your feet, you can still take advantage of the dodge, and it doesn't slow you down. Snares do not affect dodge rolls. Anyway, we've got a new set for Tales of Tribute. So for those of you that have been interested in that, this is new. You will unlock fragments of the Druid King patron deck by completing a wide range of activities within the zone of Galen. But note the order. In order to unlock the ability to play Tales of Tribute and your deck, you still need to access the High Isle chapter. So if you go to Twitter right now and you haven't got High Isle, enter the competition or giveaway, because I'm giving away 5 of them. I got hiccups really bad. I'm rinsing my coffee too quick, he says as you drink some more. Several new achievements are related that can now be earned, new clues to upgrade the cards, and stuff. So with the new DLC that you'll be able to have with ESO Plus or buy with crowns, you can get a new deck, but you will have to have High Isle first in order to achieve this. The rest of it, you don't need High Isle, but for this you do, because obviously the game comes with High Isle. There are new collectibles, which we can't see, new antiquities, which we can't see, because they're just words, new furnishings, fuck tons of them, new titles, introduces 45 achievements and 4 new titles, including Guardian of Gaean, Mighty in Magma, Soa's Savior, and Eye of the Queen. Well, that's a fucking spoiler. We know that Razumdara's in there. And what is he called? What's his title? Or what's his sneaky name he goes by? It looks like you're going to be working with him. Maybe in the same job role. Right. This is massive. Absolutely fucking massive. I was speaking about this today with Rich, so I have actual info on this one. There is a new targeting system. How many of you in the chat played EverQuest? Yes or no, we'll do fine. You love Raz? Razumdara's hilarious, man. Are you ready? If you played EverQuest, you're about to be excited as fuck. So, if you ever played EverQuest, I need a reaction to this. Do you remember the add-on called Health of Target's Target? Do you remember that? You never played EverQuest? It's called Evercrack, actually. Had this in WoW, though. WoW was late. It was called Health to Target's Target. So basically, the person in charge, or whoever, could highlight the target that they want you to hit. And there's multiple different types of targets. So you could put a star on one, a skull on another, a triangle, or whatever the fuck on another. And you can say, focus that target, focus that target, focus that target. This isn't just for you. This is for your group. So if you, the tank, for example, had a room full of ads and there's an overcharger in the middle, 20 ads, and there's a overcharger in the middle, you highlight that fucking thing and you tell the group to focus it. Thank you very much. Bella, you're a legend. Thank you very much indeed. You are the Dragonborn.
Dragonborn.
Yes. So this is going to come in really, really handy when you get a big cluster of enemies and nobody knows what one to hit. And you know you've called primary targets, but here's the 2 things that happen. 1, people can't see the fucking target. They don't know which one to hit. And 2, they just pretend they're hitting that target and hide behind everybody else and just hit stuff. Well, now you can call which one to actually focus and highlight it to the whole group. Yes, that also works in PvP. So when you're in coordinated groups that want to focus individual targets, when you say, get Jabobba, and he runs around like this and you can't fucking see him amongst all the people, he's got a fucking target on his head. Target. Knock him out. I wish they would add lock target. You've got lock target. You already have it. Press and hold the right analog stick on your control pad, or just press tab on the keyboard. 100% going to be used toxically in pugs though, but good for people who are willing to work together. Yeah, but I'm not going to always look at it from a negative perspective. Just because there's one or two dickheads doesn't mean I'm going to not look at it from the perspective of lots and lots of people that are going to use it positively. Yours just highlights. That is locking a target. It's the same thing. It will very vaguely, in a thin area of effect, focus that one target. If you go off quite heavily, it will hit other stuff because you can. But if you stay in the vicinity of that crosshair, it will always focus that target. It will be funny if in PvP someone mark you when you got DC, then mark person will be marked forever. No, you can turn it off and swap with somebody else. So DJ Snapper, basically, if you have... it's not necessarily going to be completely accurate, but let's just say a 30-degree cone in front of you and you're aiming with direct abilities, light attacks, whatever, that will always hit that target. But if you veer off ever so slightly, you'll hit other things instead. You can aim at other stuff where you can remove the lock, but it is actually a lock. So when people jump in PvP, if they're in front of you and they're locked, they look like idiots because they can't dodge anything. You're still going to hit them. Hi Zach Ninjas, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I'm here for another 30-minute hype train. Dude, the fucking hype train is different. The hype train now is a boost train, which I had earlier. And if you beat the levels, it puts me further up the Twitch ranks, which is nuts. PP's group leader marks you, ripped. Well, that's the thing. You should be doing that anyway. You should be doing that. People like to zerg. There's nothing wrong with that. But you are supposed to be a group of enemies with a plan, fighting other people, a group of people with a plan, fighting the enemy, if you like. Not necessarily you're the enemy. You might be. And the leader should be the one with the crown who's in charge shouting orders. And if you say, kill that tank over there, everyone should fucking splat it. If you go, kill that one over there, everyone should splat it. But they don't. They just scream and everyone runs different directions and wonders where they die. Coordination is something that is heavily advertised, but never fucking really applied. And when I make build videos, I always tell people how you should and shouldn't coordinate in certain areas, depending on what you're using, especially when it comes to the ballista build and all that kind of stuff, because that's supposed to be a group build. And then people go, well, I used this solo and died. Of course you used it solo and died. It's a group build. Scariest rush all 40 werewolves in a Zerg. Yeah, indeed. But now you can pinpoint targets. Instead of trying to figure out where that name is because you can't see it properly, or where that fucking player's gone, or which one of those 20 people you're supposed to hit, that marker on their head is going to make a massive, massive difference in all content, PvE and PvP. Hiding pets in towns. This is big, by the way. New feature is available in your settings to allow you to hide players' pets. Hereafter shorthand to mean summoned class ability pets like Winged Twilight and Warden Bears. Vanity pets, so the regular ones. Assistants and companions around certain high traffic objects in the game. So specifically, this includes daily craft and rip bestowal boards, daily craft and rip turn-in crates, and basic crafting stations. So when you're trying to get to a crafting station, you want like this fucking budgie flapping in your face. So you can actually hide that shit now. Your pets will not be hidden if this option is turned on. And if a player whose pets are hidden gets into a duel or combat while near the affected objects, the pet will reappear. So obviously there are situations where you need to see them. The setting can be found in gameplay, then toggle in limit followers in towns. Again, this is an optional feature you can turn on or off at your discretion. Good, no more people whining at my bird pet. Yeah, because it's in the way of the crafting station. Even though it doesn't have a hitbox, it's still in the fucking way. It's fucking nuts. Housing quality of life. Feature where guest decorator can access the retrieval tab to browse menu, which includes modify, set destination, precision, edit access. A display in the upper right hand corner under the current tracked quest, identifying which house you're currently in. This information will display the name of the house, as well as the account name of the owner of the house. So no more going into a house and going, oh, this is mine. Shit, where's my stuff? Oh no, it's Bob's. You can now share links to any of your homes via chat or guild message of the day. Links to your homes can be created from the collections menu or from the house information panel shown while in any houses browse inspection mode. So you can link the house and you can click on it and go straight to it. Twilight flapping in your face. They do. They fucking just sit there flapping in the crafting station. Found some fake news on your website today, Zai. You say Lair Marshlock is northwest of Gratwood. It's northeast. Very disappointing. Well, fucking rip, Sam. Obviously, it's a typo. Dear, oh dear. What you should do is what people are supposed to do, and that's when you find an issue on the website, you send it via email and go, hey, I found a bug, rather than trying to make someone remember it in live stream, which will go completely out of my fucking mind when I get off the stream. Dear, oh dear. Why don't you say hi for once, you salty shit? Say hi to Sam, by the way. How you doing, Sam? We added the ability for you to cycle through targets using the tab key in the housing editor's selection mode. This will make selecting books in bookcases and fish in aquariums or cobbled items easier. Nice. Sounds waving. Decorators, visitors, and limited visitors will now be able to visit or view, the list of furnishings placed in your house. So this was mentioned on their live stream the other day. Gina did go over it briefly, but when you go to people's houses and you see loads of cool shit, and you're like, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? And then they can't fucking remember. Not all of them. So I was always right even when he's wrong. Yeah, you have to send it in an email. That is a disclaimer on the website. Now you can just go up to it and you can see lists and shit. You can see what people have got in the house. You can view the list of items that they own. But obviously that's decorators, visitors, limited visitors, and visitors. It's not for people that can't go in there because you're not allowed in there. Decorators will be able to modify, precision edit, and place map markers on any furnishing or path node in the list of furnishings placed in a house, including furnishings that are behind a wall, in a box, or with a fox. Good job. You now have the ability to set furnishings that hang on walls to align better with the wall. I hope you've checked all the walls first, because some of those might be squiffed. You know when you put a picture up and it's fucking 10 feet away from it? No more a problem. No longer a problem even. Words are fucking hard today. I'm so tired. Several hundred furnishings are adjusted to use the new tech across large range of furniture categories, most notably art, banners, mountain decor, paintings, sconces, and shelves, to name a few. Again, pictures on the wall will be stuck there properly now. Furniture item tooltip will now include the furniture subcategory under the category on the top left of the furnishings tooltip. So that's where it is. And slowed the speed at which the furnishing preview camera moved when flipped between furnishings. Previously, the camera pitched between heights of different furnishings. As you switch between them, very quickly could get jarring. Okay. Emperor scaling in Cyrodiil. Ooh. The health bonus for having Emperor crowned for your alliance will now scale depending on how many home or native owned keeps you have controlled by your alliance. For example, if you own all 6 of your home keeps, you'll get the full bonus as Emperor, but for each one of those you don't own, the health bonus is reduced. So that will encourage you to keep the rest of the keeps, not just the ones around the middle. I just hit the wrong button. The Emperor passives also now scale in a similar way to the Alliance-wide health bonuses for each of the 6 home keeps your Alliance owns. The bonus will be up to its full value. For each one that is not owned by your Alliance, the passive benefits are reduced. So the more keeps you own, the stronger you all are. Please note some scaling values may not currently display properly and will be fixed on the upcoming PTS patch. Awesome. Armory Stations in PvP. Did you hear that? How many PvP is there in the chat? Just do a wave. Or put some beer in there or something, because you're probably drunk, because that's what people do in Cyrodiil. They sit there and they drink beer for hours and hours and hours and complain about people killing them. I'm joking. Raise his hand. Armory Stations in Cyrodiil. So if you have 700 builds, you don't have to keep going back to your house or back to the Overland place where all the normies are. You can stay in Cyrodiil and you can switch between builds as much as you fucking like. So if someone is kicking your ass and they think that you're a target and you keep getting squishy all the time, you can fuck off back to the base, quickly change to a massive tank, go up against them again and watch them have a massive sad. This extremely welcome quality of life change. It's really good, actually. It's very good. Customize actions. I'm not going to read this too much. Actually, do you know what? Well, fuck it, we'll read the whole thing. But basically, they did demonstrate this as well. You can change the colors of stuff, including your teleport color. So I know we can change AoE colors to whatever we like, but you can now also change your teleportation and your way shrine colors, which at first glance I was like, what's the fucking point? But watching it was actually pretty cool. And there are some other things, like when you're picking up flowers, you can make a budgie come down and pick it up and fly off with it. It's a nice visual touch. I'm not too sold by it, but I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people out there that really like it. It's cool, but the colors, I like the colors. Like every child. Customized actions are a new kind of cosmetic collectible that replace the animations and effects that play when your character performs certain actions or specific actions. This includes things like changing the color of a constellation you summon while recalling to summoning a magic creature to gather plants for you. So your harvesting has a new visual. Animation would be something in the game. Xynode animations. There would be too much swearing. They'd have to filter it. There are 3 customized actions for you to test during the PTS cycle, which we are currently planning to release sometime after Update 36 launches on all platforms. These include Recall of Galen Winds, which is a recall into a way shrine. So there's a different visual for that. It's kind of a greeny color. Stonelaw Split, which is a chop and wood effect. So you chop wood with a massive axe that has green shit flying at the back. And the Griffalcon Gather. Or however the fuck you pronounce that. No, it's not in Gris. It's gathering plants. Basically, they showed that on the stream as well. You got to pick plants up, and while you're picking at it, this little bird comes down, picks them up for you, and fucks off. There's also green. So obviously, over time, there's going to be a fuck ton more of these, but they're the first ones. They're testing ones, if you like. Be nice for the different harvesting. I'm interested. See, I knew some people were going to like it. You don't get more stuff. It just looks different. But I do like this one. They did demonstrate the teleport stuff, and it's pretty cool. To use customized actions, navigate to the collections menu and choose customized actions. Much like your own personal modes, basically. It's just a way to customize your character to make it its own flavor rather than everything looking exactly the fucking same. Which, again, is kind of cool. Choose a category you would like to use and select it to make it active. Then simply perform the action as you would normally do. And it'll basically do it. Zai's humming action, indeed. You can only activate 1 customized action per category at a time. So if they introduce 10 chop and wood things later, you can only use 1 at a time. Maybe have 1 for each character, have different ones. If you want to return to the default action, return to the customized action category and select it again to deactivate it. Okay, fair enough. Daily login reward timer change. In this update, your new daily rewards will start being available at 3 a.m. UTC. For European servers, that is 10 a.m. at UTC. For North American servers, rather than at midnight UTC, regardless of region. Okay. Open avenues of some cool ones in the future. Green animations aren't appealing to me, but lightning or fire ones, yeah, go for that. Yeah, it's going to be something for everyone. To start with, it's a little bit, what's the point? But over time, obviously, that's going to be... It's going to be quite cool to add extra customization onto your character. And let's not forget, Homestead was one of the coolest additions to the game fucking ever. The housing, and then alongside that, further down the line, throughout actually, even to now, the recrafting stuff, the motif and outfit system, the armory stuff, it's all customizing your character. So this minor visual alteration... this minor visual alteration to your character doing regular things is again just another way to make your character unique, which, to be fair, is the whole point of the fucking game. Read that one already. Daily login stuff we read already. Darkheart Skyrim Celebration is live on the PTS, so you can test that before it goes out on the live servers. Won't go too much into that. I'll let you mess around with it. The templates are quite simple. They do have... I said this at the beginning of the stream. If you go to the top left-hand side of the screen on the PTS when you make a new character, you got a drop-down menu. But if you're using gamepad mode, hit the bottom trigger, left-hand side, and it will bring up a menu instead there. And you can have a 0 level, level 25, you can have max level, you can have what you want. And they have loads of boxes with loads of stuff in. In addition to the new collectibles, we've identified several older collectibles that were not present in the customers' wardrobe box that have since been added, including the following. Oh, we've got loads of costumes and shit. 3 a.m. PST, midnight NA. They said UTC. Mind you, they didn't say 3 a.m., did they? Or did they? They did. 3 a.m. UTC, whatever the fuck that is. Figure that out versus your own time zone. Easy peasy. Google it. We have also overhauled the homeowner's crate to help you find the newest furnishings. So if you are into housing and stuff, then it doesn't matter if you tell me what the time zone is. I have to work with like 9 different time zones anyway. Just note for yourself what it is and you'll know. if you're used to going into PTS and you like to do all the housing stuff, or maybe you just like to use PTS to play housing rather than farm it all and stuff on the main server, there is a box for loads and loads of new stuff, so you can mess with those now, which is handy. All furnishings are currently missing their highlight when first choosing to place them in a home. As a temporary workaround, picking them up again in the editor will display the proper highlight. That is a known issue on the PTS. Creating a character using level 25 template, I don't do that anyway, will set the champion points on all characters regardless of if they had copy templates or not on a PTS account to 0. Creating another character using the max level template will set your champion points to 3600, but you will need to redistribute your points again. So if you make lower characters, it's going to start being a bit skewer for the PTS champion points, but if you make a new one, it'll be fine. Interesting to see what skins and personalities they put in those boxes. Well, the skins should all be there anyway, apart from the ones that didn't come from the game. So the Crown Store ones generally aren't on there. You can buy the Crown Store ones, but you can't buy the Crown Crate ones. So generally, on the PTS, anything that is achievable is in the boxes. But they're adding some new shit. Lots and lots of quest fixes, or a few in fact. Not going to go over all of those. Because that's very subjective. Go through the... Do you know what? I'll copy and paste it. Mike, have you got a link for me, please? I didn't copy the link. My bad. Post that in the chat so then people can find the quests that apply to them, so they know if they've been fixed or not. Crown Crate 1 usually bought with Endeavor points. Yes, they can. Let me explain again. On the PTS, Mike, the PTS patch notes, so people can check the quests that apply to them. On the PTS, there is a box, and it has skins in it. Those are the skins that you can acquire in the game. The only Crown Crates that are ever available on the PTS are the current ones at the time, if any at all. So if those were available on the PTS, then you could acquire it via that, but generally that's not the case. Generally, they just give you the in-game accessible ones. However, if your account does have the previous ones from Crown Crates or Crown Store or whatever, they will still be present there as well. It depends on what you've already got. But the ones in the boxes are the ones that you earn. They don't put the "this was in a Crown Crate 3 years ago" ones in that box. Unless, of course, that's what we're talking about in Nevada, which would be cool. Monsters in Kind's Aegis will now have a chance to drop purple gear in veteran mode. Oh dear. We won't go over that. Quest zones. Nope. We've got a link in the chat so you can see which ones apply to you. Because otherwise we'll be here a long time going over all this kind of stuff. General Tales attribute stuff. You can now skip the tutorial on other characters as long as you've completed it on at least one character. That is fucking helpful, actually. Because I have been up against people that go, "Hey, do you want a duel? Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a tribute duel." And then, I haven't done the quest. I've done it on my other character, but I haven't done it on this one. So now you have to fuck off for 20 minutes and go and do that and come back again. By that point, they're gone to sleep. Now you can skip it if you've already done it. That's handy. Some tribute NPC opponents will now be a little smarter. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm really happy about that. Because although I fucking love tribute, I have to admit, once you understand it, the NPCs are a bit pumba. They're quite shit. Tribute now has its own gameplay musical score. Ooh. But you could just switch to another character instead of a 20-minute quest. You could, Ken, but if you wanted to play on that character, keep up. Fucking hell. Someone get him a biscuit before he hurts himself. Tales of Tribute daily quest givers. However you fucking pronounce them, that name even. Is it Marinyi or I never pronounce the J's and the Y's properly. And Kishka now have proper job titles rather than being part of their names. Okay, fine. Improved messaging when tribute matches are not available. It's quite annoying that you can't, on a console at least, type inside of that without exiting the fucking menu. How much of the tutorial will it to skip the unlock tribute or additional quest that unlocks days too? No, the whole thing so you can start playing. Fix the issue that could prevent you from accepting a new tribute daily quest if completed it 2 days later. Adjusted the patron drafting screen to better accommodate the new Druid King deck. Obviously they had to introduce that because it's a new one. Fix an issue where Bragas would appear far to the left during the tutorial conversation. Tales of Tribute daily quests will now display in Tales of Tribute quest category in the journal, so they're sectioned off rather than just hovering somewhere. Proficient NPCs may now select the Sorcerer, King, Ognum Patron. Good. Because they kept getting stuck with the same shit. Expert NPCs can now select the newly available Druid King Patron. Nice. Fix an issue in the Tribute Activity Finder where the rewards wouldn't update after the first win of the day. And fix an issue where long player and patron names could wrap awkwardly in the Tribute game summary screen. Do you know what you also want to do? Make sure that you get your reward for completing your Tribute, whether you win or lose, instantly rather than after the next game. Because they keep coming in at funny fucking times. Adjustments. Rajin? Was it Rahin? It's gotta be Rajin because it's a cat. That's a J. The Purring Liar. Grand Larceny. Reduce the gold gain from this to 5 to 4. So it's gone down. Bob, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Dude, my words are so hard to fucking say today. Nerfus. Oh, Ken, you're such a statistic. Adding a 2 combo. Opponent loses 1 prestige. Grandmaster, blah, 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 blah. I'm never going to pronounce the names properly. Lord Master's going to kick my ass. Reduce the gain from gold to 5 to 4. So it's gone down. Reduce the replacement. Sorry, reduce. Thank you for the follow. Reduce the replace card from Tavern from 2 cards to... Do you know how hard this is to fucking say? From Tavern from 2 cards to 1. So, yes, Ken. Nerfed. Reduce the power gain combo from 2... From 2 to what? Read that out loud. Reduce the power gain on combo 2 from 2 to what? That's really tricky to comprehend while you're trying to read it out loud. It sounds really fucking weird. It does make sense, but it looks weird. Reduced the power gain on combo 2 from 3 to 2. I'm glad I don't have to read this at fast pace because I'd fuck it right up. Much of how the fuck you pronounce that. Added 1 power gain on a combo 2. So they've fucked with a lot of overpowered shit, basically. I'm not going to scroll down yet. I want to see what they've done to Rally, even if they've touched it. They might not have done. Nothing of a card. Replace the choice to acquire 4 with gain 3 gold. You'll now select between gain 3 power and gain 3 gold. So one or the other. Handy. Easy pronunciation. You're such a knob, Ken. That's why you got a K at the beginning, haven't you? Knob. Evening to you, Zai. Nice to see your face. Yes, we know. You're fresh to death. Dude! How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Patron power. Reduce the cost to activate Sorcerer King Ognum's ability while unfavored from 3 to 2. So you can use it more often. I mean, so they reduce the amount of power some of the cards have, but you can activate the patron fucking sooner. Or with less fuel, if you like. 7-time rider. Increase the power play from 1 to 2. Reduce the combo 2 effect of replace a card from Tavern from 2 cards to... These sentences are so fucking... I know what they mean. And if you play Tribute, you know what they mean. But they're so awkward to read out loud. Reduce the cost of buying this card from 6 gold to 5 gold. So Snakeskin Freebooter is actually cheaper. And Somerset Sakin shifted 1 prestige from the play effect to combo 2. They didn't alter Rally or the Armory. Which I'm surprised at, because those are fucking hard hitters. I know they're meant to be, but... And also, none of the purple stuff really got fucked with. Which is unusual, because I can... Well, I say I can. I have done. I've had so many fucking purple cards, you know, the crow, that I've actually rotated my whole deck, like 2 or 3 times in the same turn. To the point where I had to just end it, because I thought the time was going to run out. Fucking nuts. More quest stuff. We're not going to go over that. That's subjective. Although, very, very good. Lots of fucking fixes for those. Somerset Sakin is the posh teabagging. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's high elf teabagging. Shit chick order bagging. That's what that is. More quests. More quests. Ha ha ha! Now, this is a section that people normally shit themselves on. It's not that bad. Well, it never fucking is, but people just make a big meal out of it when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Yes, I'm talking to you. Here we go. Fixed an issue where some AoE ticking abilities, so ground-based shit that goes on the ground, Wall of Elements, for example, and that is one of them, could delay or miss their first tick or could apply their effects out of sync with their tick rates. Wall of Elements is one of those, or the one that blows up. Unstable Wall of Elements. That is not applying the first tick. Not always. And some other stuff aren't as well. So that one is to fix that. Fix an issue where rezoning could cause your character to load a different ability bar in some rare cases. Okay. Fix an issue where break freeze animation could fail to play in situations when your character would be stunned mid-animation with effects such as time stop. That also is affected by some stuns from PvE enemies. So if you get stunned by the axes, sometimes it doesn't show a visual effect. You are stunned, but you don't know it. Purple anti-recycling is pretty OP too. Yeah, it is. Some crazy stuff happening in Eleanor. Focus on bugs this patch, so a welcome thing to read. Yeah, a lot of bugs. Like, all these quests fucking bug fixes. And here, combat bug fixes. Death recaps will no longer taunt you with the concept of bringing a friend or using the group tool for solo arenas. Oh, man, keep that. That's funny. That gives people an excuse to complain. I mean, not that they need one anyway, because they'll just find excuses, but that's funny. Bring a friend. I thought you couldn't. And then they test themselves to see if they're fucking crazy. Dragon Knight. Nerfs. I'm joking. Shift and standard. Fix an issue that would cause the ability timer to reset after recasting the ability to move it. If you don't know what that means, that is an ongoing issue at the moment, and it has been for a long time. Shift and standard lasts for longer than the standard of might. But the trick to it is you can move it. So if you place it, that's not where it belongs. You can move it somewhere else during that timer. But what it was doing is it was telling your ability timers that you'd started the whole skill again, which you hadn't. So that's just a fix for the timers. That's it. That's all that needs to be altered for the Dragon Knight. Done. So when that fucking idiot tells you, and you know it's going to happen, there's going to be one of them, that idiot. There's going to be one. But there isn't. It's going to be fucking hundreds. Saying DK's just got nerfed. This will underline how full of shit some people are. All they've done is fix the ability timer, so it makes sense. That's it. This was altered. One skill for the Templar. So Backlash, you'll notice Power of the Light or Purifying Light. This ability and its morphs have been slightly reworked. The final damage now deals a guaranteed amount of damage based on your highest offensive stats. So your highest offensive stats will push the strength of the skill, rather than dealing damage based on the damage it took from you over the duration and with a cap based on weapon and spell damage. So that is somewhat different, but you visually won't see a huge overall change to it. The final damage deals approximately 10% more damage than the initial hit at base and increases up to 200% to reach similar values of power seen before. It's a different way of calculating it. So, I mean, that's more for consistency's sake for how skills are calculated in the background, but it now scales off of your offensive stats rather than having a flat. You could crit it before, and you still can, though. The final damage now takes more overall damage to reach, so you'll have to work harder, and to make the payout less reliable reached in PvP scenarios. So that was an issue as well. So basically, if you consistently do lots and lots of damage on the target, it will pop for X amount of damage and scale off of your resources or offensive stats. However, before, because there was a guaranteed amount, scaled differently, you didn't have to work too hard to make it hit really, really fucking hard on targets that try to run away. Does that make Backlash a fire and forget pop then? Not exactly. So you could do that before. You pop on the initial cast, and then it pops at the end based on damage done. But while it still does that, you have to work a little bit harder to increase your stats for it, and obviously damage the target more. So before, again, it was a skill that you just hit stuff with. Now you need to scale with your stats to make it more effective. You can't just get it for free, because some people could do that on a fucking tank and it was a piece of piss. Whereas now it's more damage stat rather than just win by not really doing a lot. The final damage, I've read that one already. These abilities are now once again limited to having one active at a time. That is an alteration. That is. To fix numerous exploits and bugs with this ability. This means if you cast the ability on another target while it is active, it will remove the previous cast. Ooh. Oops. Dear oh dear. Power of the Light morph increases the duration of minor breach from this morph to 7 to 10 seconds, up from 6 to 9, so full 10-second timer. This effect is also no longer tracked over the base ability with the ability timers option enabled to help you keep track of the core ability instead. Okay, fine. For PvE content, I don't think it will be difficult to keep the damage the same. No, it won't be. But in PvP, it was overkill. I don't like not being to place it on multiple targets. The thing is, it's designed to be just for one. You're supposed to focus on it. If you put it on multiples and you're the one that's supposed to be doing the damage, there's not really a need for it. We'll have to test it to see how effective it actually is, but only using one at a time. It's like you use one Jesus beam at a time. Focus that one target, Bob. Wreck it. Wreck it the best you can. I know, but I used it in VCR portals and crystal. You'll just have to make sure that you're more active with it. You'll have to put it on one portal, smash it, put it on another portal, smash it. The problem that they're trying to state is that before it was way too easy to get too much damage out of it without actually applying damage in between. You just pop it on, leave it, forget it, it will go boom with a little bit on it. Now you have to really focus to make that do its extra at the end. We'll see. It might be good, it might be not. Animal companions, this... Xynode's a yes man. No, I'm not. I'm honest and open-minded. I still think the Warden's fucked. I don't mean the whole class is fucked. I mean they're trying too hard to alter this passive and they're not quite sure where to put it. Anyway, this passive now increases your critical damage done by 1 to 3% rather than armor penetration by 495 to 990. Now, I can appreciate that that is a change and it needed to be changed because changing that from damage done to pen in the first place was a stupid idea, if I'm honest. Because it meant medium armor builds could benefit from a good passive bonus to penetration, but light armor, overcap to fuck 'em back all day long. It made it useless. That is better. The crit damage bonus is better, and you do apply crit damage bonuses if you use ice staves and all that kind of stuff. If you do status effects, you get brittle. If you're using that nanofuck fucking set, you get major brittle, and then you can start stacking up crit damage. Sure, fair enough. I have to test it. I don't think that's the answer, but it is 100% better than the previous one. That pen idea was a bad one. Let's see what they've got. We're shifting the passive's focus away from raw damage and more into critical damage. Okay, so they're encouraging you to crit to help focus the class's natural tendency to burst down foes. Fair enough. This change should also help bring up light armor focused Wardens while toning down some of the power that they're currently much stronger than medium cousins they have. So, I mean, that does make a little bit of sense because you get crit damage from medium passives, but then you get crit chance from light armor passives. So, balance scales there. The problem is, we already have Nightblades that are focused on crit damage. We already have Templars that are focused on crit damage. If you now start making Wardens focus on crit damage alongside the Necro that can focus on crit chance, you are forcing 4 of the classes to need crit. Again, I think they're not too sure what to do with the Warden because it has been a little bit up and down lately, but that is better than last time. We'll have to see how impactful it actually is, but it is better than last time.
I love winning.
Steve, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Having backlash dynamically scale now is super nice. 2 thumbs up. It is, but we'll have to see how it actually applies and whether it is a difference. It doesn't have to be better damage-wise. It just needs to make more sense. Feral Guardian. Fix an issue where the bear from this ultimate and its morphs could get stuck in a loop of trying to cast Crush and Swipe repeatedly until it perished or was crowd controlled. It was just trying to make you proud. All right, whatever. This, again, is better than Update 35 as a change, but we'll have to see where it goes. Pagan, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Healing Seed. Budding Seeds. Fix an issue where the final heal from this ability was centered on the caster rather than the area of effect. So here, again, fixes. This is consolidating a passive that they're not sure what to do with. So it's work in progress. Fair enough. This is fixes. Fix, fix, fix. This, one alteration to the Templar. And this, fix, fix, fix. All fixes. Arctic Wind. Arctic Blast Morph. Remove the target cap from the damage of this morph, as the damage is no longer tied to stunning enemies. So before it was capped to 6 because you could only negatively impact with a debuff for stun, a CC or whatever with most abilities in the game. Some are exempt from it, but most abilities to 6. Because it doesn't stun anymore, obviously you can still slow stuff down with chill status effects and such if you're in Wall of Elements, whatever, but because it doesn't apply to stun as such, it has a no cap. Genius added comments to the best. They are quite funny, actually. Pearson Cold. This passive now increases your damage done, which can increase to 5 to 10% while wielding an ice staff rather than increase your magic and frost damage by 10%. This, if I'm totally honest with you, I disagree with. if you understand the design of the game, they've always made it so that you can choose any armor, choose any weapon, choose any class, any race, any class, any race, any role. That's the tagline for their game. So nothing is exempt. You can use any guild skill line. You can use any weapon, no matter what you are. And you still can. But this is the only class that now has a passive that is tied specifically to a weapon type, almost pigeonholing you or forcing you to choose Ice Staff with Warden. Now, on a Mag DK, yes, I know lots of people like to use a Flame Staff, but you're not forced to. It doesn't say you get more damage from Flame Staff abilities. We all know that you get more damage from fire, but it doesn't say you must use a fucking Flame Staff to increase your damage overall. It's just a choice that you can make. This is a bit pigeonholy. 5 to 10% increase to damage, flat damage, while holding an Ice Staff. That's fucking mad. Because that would prevent you from using other weapons. You wouldn't want to use a bow now, even if you're a medium armor set. You wouldn't want to use dual wield. You wouldn't want to use Flame Staff because that only affects single target stuff. And you wouldn't want to use Lightning stuff because it only affects AoE stuff. That is all damage. I'm happy with an all damage bonus like they had before, but I'm not happy that they're pigeonholing it onto an Ice Staff. We have Ice skills, great. If you want to use an Ice Staff, also great. Take advantage of the passives they carry. But this, I think this is going to get adjusted because it's defeating some of the design of the game. As soon as you force a class to use something, you take away choice. How many people will be accidentally using Frost Cleanse to take aggro off tank now? Probably quite a bit. I mean, you use the other morph, but yeah, some will. I'm happy that they're trying to alter the Warden. I know that they are struggling with it. I'm happy that they're trying to suggest better options for this passive. And again, I'm glad that they're trying to do something with this, like encouraging cold damage, because that's what the Warden is good at. But I don't think you should lock it to Ice Staff only. Because here's the fucking thing. What's best on a Warden? No such thing as best, is there? You just lied. So, I'm going to test it. I don't expect that to be the end of it, because they'll probably do changes along the way. But that is the one reason why I think that that idea is not quite where it should be. Extra damage, great. Forcing the Ice Staff, no. Let that be a choice, just like every other class. Anyway, let's see what I got to say. The passive is currently creating issues with morph choices in the class. Obviously, they've underlined that they are having problems with the Warden. Fair enough. Open statement. As Wardens have a healthy mix of damage types outside of Magic and Frost. Yes, as do many other classes. Like the Nightblade has Disease, Magic. The DK has Poison and Fire. The Templar has Magic and Physical. The Warden, generally, again, Ice, Physical, Bleed, which is also Physical. And then, obviously, the Sorcerer, which is Lightning and Physical. They all tend to have two, mostly. Nightblade, again, has got Physical and Disease and Magic, but there's not as much of the odd one as there is the other two. Many morphs that are meant to focus on damage are either close to or even eclipsed by the more utility-driven morphs that retain magic damage, and the lack of more DPS-focused ice damage abilities, since they are predominantly made for tanks or utility. That was the choice you made. You decided to make icy stuff protection. Anyway, abilities create a situation where this passive isn't helping the unique identity of ice mages, fair enough, keep up with their playstyles. By shifting the focus of the passive over to a generic damage, that contextual gets stronger for the audience the passive is made for. We hope to help bring that playstyle up a bit more. Again, increasing the flat damage overall is great, but stopping people from choosing a weapon choice other than Ice Staff. No one would be using I say no one, that's a vague assumption, but no one would have any reason to use a Flame Staff for the 10% increase to damage on single target. No one would need to use a Lightning Staff for the 10% AoE, unless, of course, they want to take advantage of the channeled heavy attack. Because this will give you both bonuses. If it's 10% increase to all, you've got fire and lightning passives combined. So all single target and all AoE skills all get 10%. You might be pigeonholing the class into a weapon style that you shouldn't, And 2, you might be making people too tanky as a DPS. In PvP, that could create a problem. Someone that builds for damage gets basic mitigation bonuses and such because of the weapon choice. That's going to be awkward. You got too much of everything and not enough of one or the other. Anyway, we'll see what happens. It's not the end of the world. It's the first day. Anything could change. But that is the one passive that I am a little bit, we'll call it curious of for now. DPS Stand Warden. Yeah, nothing wrong with being a DPS Stand Warden. I mean, you can use an ice staff on that as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But forcing you to benefit from that only, I think this is very early days. They're getting there. They're on the right track. But this class needs that, is what that sells. In Ice Warden, I'm not so unhappy. Yeah, of course, because you want to use the ice staff, but I think you misunderstand what I'm trying to explain here. There's nothing wrong with using ice staff on a Warden. That is the whole intention. You want to be icy and powery and stuff. I forgot one myself. But the point of the game is to have choices, and every single class is supposed to be able to make an equal choice as to weapons and armor and guild skill lines and all that kind of stuff. And this is taking that away. This is saying you must do this. Otherwise, rip entire passive. And I think that is a negative to the design. It's probably going to be fun as fuck, sure. But, again, the design, I can't over-exaggerate it or explain it anymore. The whole, any class, any race, any role, given any weapon choice and all the rest of it, you aren't going to pick another weapon choice, are you? How many people in the chat reading that now would definitely pick another weapon choice over that? The soon as somebody says no, they've made a problem there. I know people want to use ice staffs anyway. That's fine. I do, but they got to be careful with it. I don't think it's been quite figured out yet. It's awkward. I really want the Wardens to have a bit of a kick because they are suffering a little bit when it comes to some of these passives and bonuses. They feel not quite finished. I do like what they did with the budgies on the previous update. Shulk timers are a bit fucked. The budgies are much, much better. This passive, again, is much better than it was before. It's not as good as the flat damage bonus we used to have, but it is better than the pen bonus because that didn't make any fucking sense. So fair enough. But this here, this is awkward. It will basically force me to rework my build. That's separate. That's personal. You don't play Warden? I'm sticking with what I have in my Warden fare. There goes the Bobo build. I mean, it doesn't, but it does then say you could get 10% more damage from using a different weapon instead, which then takes away your choice almost. Or the choice is you can still do that, but you'll definitely have less damage. Like, come on. It's a tricky one. Like I said, again, we'll have to... My phone's gone off. We'll have to test it. We'll have to see how impactful it is, and we'll have to test it with other weapons as well to see any flat differences. Obviously, you've got your basic weapon passives, which will fluctuate your results, but we want to see how impactful that passive is. It was fine before where ice damage did crit damage because that encouraged you to use ice damage. Now, being forced to use a specific weapon on a class, it deletes your options. You're being incredibly penalized by not choosing an ice destro. Correct. That's my point. I'm a Bobo Warden. This is a little sad. I mean, again, you can still do it. But yeah, DJ's underlined it there. You're being indirectly penalized by not choosing the ice stuff. That is a correct statement. Isn't that similar to most, though, dual wield being hybrid era rather than stave? No, it's not. No, it's not, because no classes force you to pick a weapon choice or else you won't get a bonus. For example, the DK. You've got flame abilities in the game. So you've got the rune, for example, from Mage's Guild. That does fire. DK does extra fire. So for that skill, you hit harder. But it doesn't say you must choose fire weapons or else. Frost enchant weapon would be a better choice. No, a skill that turns your weapons into frosty stuff would be cool. But this is not what they're saying. It's tricky. Rockin' 5x5 armor build. This will break my armor build if I swap to a staff. I mean, arguing it would break your personal build is not really the point. Adaptation has to happen over time. We're always going to slightly alter our builds depending on what happens. But you shouldn't have to now completely rely on one weapon type when you've always been taught that you can have anything you want. It's tricky. I've got to stay positive about it because I want to see where it goes. But I will say openly that this is one of the things I disagree on. The way it's delivered, at least. If they made it so that this was a bonus based on X, Y, and Z skills being used, or X, Y, and Z types of skills being used, whether it be types of damage or whatever, instead of a select weapon, that wouldn't be so bad. But it would be like... it's hard to say. They do it with armor stuff as well. I mean, the Nightblade, yeah, you get bonuses for the more heavy armor pieces you wear. So they could argue that, but that's not so heavily reliant on you would have all heavy all the time or else. This is an or else. That even turns it into Warden tanks will do the most damage, even though you're not built for damage. Which makes Nature's Bounty buffed, actually. And I'm still against it. Pretty much we'll have to keep an eye on this change. Yeah, definitely. I mean, overall, I've already done enough whinging about it. Although it's not what I'm supposed to be doing or trying to do. I'm not trying to whinge about it. I'm trying to look at it from a balanced perspective, especially with a game designed this way. But we will test it. We'll see what happens, and we'll see how other versions of Wardens with other weapons work out. Hopefully it's not too different, but if that does become a problem, then feedback's going to happen. No matter what the changes devs will make within reason, builds will always be able to build around them. Of course, that's the whole point. And I'm just worried that this will delete that. That's my main concern. I'm worried that they'll go back on the design of the game in order to fix one class. And I say fix loosely because there's not necessarily massive problems with it. It's just a couple of passives they can't quite figure out yet. But again, it's a test server. So they have to put this stuff forward for testing in order to see the results. And that could be, they're not putting it forward to say this might happen. They're putting it forward so maybe they can eliminate it. Who knows? Anyway, let's move on. Volley fixed an issue where this ability and its morphs only used your weapon critical rather than your dynamic scaling of whatever was higher. So that is supposed to work off of... Thank you for the follow. That is supposed to work off of highest. So weapon crit or spell crit. And it wasn't. So they fixed that. So if you are kind of Magicka based, that will still work out well for you. Vigor, resolving vigor. Reduce the healing from this morph by approximately 10%. That is not the one that heals your group. That's echoing vigor. So the ones that stack, still not a problem. That's your solo selfish heal, the one that only ever heals you. That's massive anyway. I'm sure there'll be a lot of voices about this on the forums. I mean, maybe, maybe not. There aren't... I don't want to say this to be negative towards people because it's not what I mean. But in a crowd, there aren't that many people that can see both sides of the coin. It's always me, me, me. That kind of stuff. If you're not one of those people, you may have some valid debates and discussions about it. But if it's one-way traffic, that's when you can't really figure out what people really want. If the future all restaurants were Taco Bell, Demolition Man... Oh, dude, what a movie. Khajiit, robustness. The passive now increases your health, magicka, and stamina recovery by 90 at their final rank, rather than your health recovery up to 100 and your mag and stamina recovery up to 85. So they've consolidated this, basically. They've taken the 2 off the top there, and they've split it into 5 on each one of those. Love that movie? Yeah, it's brilliant. Champion point. Occult Overload. Fuck. I know why. I know why. We'll open the spoiler in a minute, but... reduce the damage per stage of this star to 1037 down from 2560. So that will end up being like 4.5k almost. Maxed out. This node now also applies random status effects to enemies hit, so that's awkward. Adds a cooldown of 1 second to prevent cascading effects. So before, if you blew up the whole room, it'd go brrr, everything would go bang, 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 bang. Now it can't. Random status effects is awkward because you can't really control it. Cooldown, fair enough. The damage no longer has a maximum target cap of 6, so you can blow up entire rooms now. So, not so bad. We're toning down some of the burst damage of this effect, as well as its prevalence to operate like Vicious Death, where it can cause cascading booms when you kill large number of targets. That was the intention in the first place, but okay, fine. At the same time, the star doesn't have enough drawbacks to justify the ease of access to instantly kill large groups of enemies, as well as being a bit overboard when used in tandem with other effects. That is people using it in the way that you designed it to. You just didn't expect it to be that harsh. Okay, fair enough. Admitted that. So now we'll move on. To make up for this, we're adding some more self-synergy to the effect, where it will reward More booms back to back if you can manage to kill the affected targets within the time frame of the status applied. So it feels more controlled in risk-reward situations rather than random. I get your intention, but you said rather than random, yet you have given us random status effects. I would like that to be a short period of time of specific statuses, or maybe just one type or something to that effect. Maybe add mangle to that. If you added hemorrhage to that, and that applies minor mangle, reducing people's health by 10%, that would actually be quite helpful. So boom, people are weakened. And then the next boom will feel stronger because they got less health. That would make more sense, but at the moment, I don't think they're too finished with that. I think that's still going to be looked at. I'm glad they're adjusting it because it is overpowered as fuck, even though it is going to affect a couple of my builds. I'm not going to be one-sided about it. I'm not going to go, oh, you nerfed my fucking build and be that baby on the internet. I appreciate what they're trying to do, but I don't think that's ready yet either. Again, day one, we'll see what happens. Companions, fix the issue where companions would fail. Oh, we've got loads of fixes here. Animation, audio, gameplay, all stuff. Let's look at the companions because loads of people use those. Fix an issue where companions would fail to resummon a zone transitions while on the Dishan quest Oathbreaker. Fix an issue where you couldn't click through your pet to interact with your companion. Fix an issue where Bastion's passive was not correctly dropping potent potions from world bosses and delves, and Ember's hidden wallet has slightly higher chance to drop when it is on cooldown. Okay, fine. Some animation fixes. This is all companions, isn't it? Yes, it is. Audio stuff. Mike, give me the link, please. Then you can read through this stuff in your own time. We've got some item set changes. So no petitions. Oh, that people make fucking petitions, but what they don't realize is they're fucking useless. Developers make their games. It's up to them how they make it. You get to play it. It's up to you if you play it or not. You don't get to make petitions and force someone against their will to do something that you want just for you. So when is it supposed to come out? Not yet. Not for a while. This patch of the year, the fourth quarter, normally comes out somewhere sort of early November time, depending on when they decide to release it. But we'll see. We'll go back to this. These changes are so limited. There aren't many. Apart from major fixes on select abilities. This one here for the Templar and this one here for the Warden. They're so specific and so nitpicky, like trying to really, really adjust it for the better, that with it only being these two major skills that are affected on the PTS at the moment, that will give them the ability to nail down what they really want to do with it in a short period of time, rather than having 50 major changes and can't quite figure out any of them. Having that much emphasis on two major skills or passives is actually a plus. It's pretty cool. They haven't gone 10 skills for the Templar, 5 for the DK, 6 for the Warden, 4.5 for the Necromancer. They haven't done that this time. They've gone, this for the Templar is a bit fucked, this for the Warden's a bit fucked, and this for the champion points is a bit fucked. Wherever it's gone. Down here. More emphasis on fixes on this kind of stuff is actually a very welcome change of pace for the patch notes. I actually quite like it. So although I'm concerned about this stuff, and rightly so, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to blow up. And it'll be interesting to see where they do actually go with it. Especially this. I think this is going to be completely fucking changed soon. We'll see. But I think it will. Anyway, let's go back to the itemization stuff. So, fix numerous issues with item set visuals failing to apply on their second cast. So, ability, fucking words, so fucking done in today. Can you tell? Ability altering weapons. Gallant charge, fix an issue where the set's cost reduction bonus could fail to work in some cases. So, fixed. Grand rejuvenation, this is an issue. Basically, the DSA weapon, the Master's Staff, is only supposed to apply that recovery bonus to people caught in the healing springs, but it actually applies to you no matter what. Even if you cast it down the street, it will still affect you. What time am I at? It's 11:30. The time is irrelevant. The fact that I work 12 to 18 hours a day before I even fucking get here sometimes is the fact that I'm normally fucking tired by the time I start reading. But also, everyone's been really nice today, but patch stream or patch note reading streams are really stressful because you end up getting people come in trying to read ahead of you, or you get people screaming in your face because they don't like everything and the world's going to explode and you can't really get your point across. But, I mean, That hasn't happened today yet, so it's been really good, but I'm already mentally drained before I got here. Anyway, the Master Staff is fixed. That was a problem. You could apply the buff even if you didn't stand in it. Void Bash fixed an issue where the set could pull invisible targets. Obviously in PvP, if you're hidden, you shouldn't be being pulled by stuff because it's a single target effect technically on each target. So why would you be getting hit by something if single target abilities can't affect you while you're in stealth? How the fuck do you say this? I don't fucking care. Fixed an issue where this set's visual effects did not properly sync up with the size and duration of the actual effects. So it's the monster set. Mythic items. Fixed numerous issues where this set could fail to retain its bonuses or deal the proper damage. I think it's the armor one, isn't it? Where it pops. Weight of the air. Fixed an issue where this set's bonus to detection radius was not working. Yeah, people yelling Twilight in their faces. Yeah, indeed. Those people. Good call. Bussy's Mania. Fix an issue where this set's damage bonus did not apply to pets. Rejoice Zookeepers. So those of you that wanted to use that set and you've got pets, great. You do realize that reading it out loud and then typing it out loud for me to try and read it again is not going to help with pronunciation. I've already decided I'm not going to pronounce it. Thank you, teacher. Mantle of Sauria. Fixed an issue where this set could grant stacks while outside of the area of effect. So basically, people were getting the full effect of it while not even using it as it was supposed to. Poo, I can say. Yes, correct. Art animation fix. Crafting and economy fixed. What's this? Fixed an issue where some jewelry master writs would not show you where to go on the map. You can now accept daily alchemy writs, even if you just turned one in from the previous day. Craft an icon. The small game provision item now has much more appropriate icon. No more absolutely gross rodent toenails. Fixed an issue where, this is jewelry nodes by the way, would occasionally display silver when using craft and server reports. Crown store crates. Event celebrations. Exploration and itemization. Where's the items? Again, more fixes. I'm not going to go over every single one of them because it's too fucking many. This seems to be a patch mostly full of a new area and fixes. And again, as far as combat is concerned, no major base combat stuff was affected. No class overhauls, no race overhauls, no set overhauling. Because over the last few patches, they've been doing that bit by bit by bit by bit to get to here. Although that wasn't necessarily clear to everybody, because not everybody reads. The intention was to, instead of hitting it with a sledgehammer and doing it all at once, because that would break, to do sections chunk by chunk by chunk to get to this point where there's barely anything to alter. So it's looking pretty good. Disappointed they did not add at least one new home. Never say never. This is just what we're getting so far. Keep an eye on the Crown Store. You know they're getting the customization stuff later. Maybe it'll come with that. But generally speaking, that comes with chapters anyway. Gamepad mode fixed an issue where the claim keep... Oh, I'm not going to read that. There is a bug with gamepad mode, which is technically console. The same issue where you go into a dungeon and you have to spam the fucking button like 30 times to get rid of the error menu. That's going away. Fix an issue where you could not immediately read mail after being notified of a new mail. That is a problem as well. That's been fixed. It would appear empty, but the mail would come back. Yeah, it would appear empty, but then you change zones and it would pop up. There are lots and lots and lots of fixes. More fixes that I'm going to read through. So Mike has just posted the PTS patch notes in the chat there. If anything is very specific to you as a player, maybe a certain quest, certain thing in housing or whatever, it's bound to be here, so you can read up on it yourself if you want to. But as far as the overall base game stuff is concerned, with combat and fixes and such, there's a lot of fixes, and that's pretty much it. The only major adjustments are actually in Tales of Tribute, and that's only like 10 cards. So people wanted that, and that's exactly what we've got. Again, this stuff remains to be seen. That's probably going to get adjusted quite heavily over the next few weeks. But the rest of it is all positive stuff. Even the new sets, sure, they might change, but brand new sets, fuck tons of fixes. Nothing else to say. He's not being able to learn the Incredus style page part of the fixes. I have no idea. Like I said, if it applies to you, go check it out. And I've never seen you without a hat before. Really? Where have you been? How have you not seen me without a hat on? You've never been to Instagram, no? Or YouTube? Dude, I haven't been on stream wearing a bandana for fucking like 2 years. Maybe a year, actually. too hot for that shit. Plus, I cut half my fucking hair off. I don't have anything else to say, to be fair. It's pretty positive. Instead of obsessing over millions and millions of obscure details, we've got 2 major skills, and that's it. And again, that must make things much, much easier for them, especially on the feedback side of things, because they don't have to get thousands of people complaining that their DPS has gone down on absolutely everything, which it hasn't, for the sake of 2 skills. It's pretty good. Only just started playing ESO again, and you're the go-to guy. Thank you very much, and welcome back to ESO. Incredi's page should be fixed with the maintenance last night. There you go, King. You got your answer. So what do people think? I don't normally ask that, so play nice. What do you think so far in comparison to previous patches as far as the way it's delivered? I don't mean, oh, this patch is better than last patch. That's bullshit. Not that. I mean, how this is delivered with a fuck ton of fixes and just 2 major focuses on a couple of skills. What do you reckon? Nothing terrifying? Seems reasonable? You like it? See? Nothing to scream about, is there? You watch. There's going to be screams everywhere. Time to rage. Get it done. They change everything. I mean nothing. What are we talking about again? Indeed. It's pretty cool. Not that I ever worry anyways. We'll adapt. Of course you will. I like it. Worried about the Warden changes just like you though. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about it, but I'm also aware that they'll probably adjust it heavily throughout the PTS cycles. And every Monday that we normally get the PTS updates, it's normally filled with major adjustments to content and dungeons or trials, whatever that happened to come with the patch at the time. And obviously class skills, weapon skills, all that kind of stuff, set adjustments, all that. And it doesn't look like it really needs to. It looks like the major adjustments are going to be more fixes. Vigor nerf out of nowhere. Yeah, dude, that's the solo Vigor, not the group one. I'm with you. I think they are on the right track here, but like you say, it's the first iteration. It is. They're supposed to be scary. Still waiting for the healer soak buff. Dude, use another skill. I feel like I'm only playing 30% of the game potentially anyway. Fair. I mean, that's the thing. The game is so vast. No one can really play it all. Except for that one guy that got every achievement in the game. Thanks for the crate drop. Was there drops on today? There are. I didn't even get my own drop. Dear oh dear. I have to refresh my own stream to get my own drops. Can you believe that? Dear oh dear. There it is. How much do I have to watch? 30 minutes of my own stream. All I want is Power Surge to be up to par with other class AoE HOTS. The thing is, you've got incredible burst heals from the budgie. You've got your own self-heal if you use Dark Deal or whatever. You've got your heals from your root. If you put Bobby in the chat, there's a build there called Bobby. It actually stands for best 1-bar build yet. And the heals you can get from that and from your Dark Magic passives are fucking huge. Not to mention, obviously, your ultimate. You want a gate bubble, you can morph it to absorption field with 12 second stun AoE heal. It's fucking mad. So you do have that stuff. You just have to do it a little differently to what Templar does. If they had it exactly the same as every other class, there'd be no point in another class. But they do have really strong heals if you build for it. Especially if you mix it with other stuff. It's fucking crazy. You can get Major Mendon really easy. And Major Vitality really easy as well. Vitality from those runes. Not the runes. The root is nuts. Heal Sork main. You won't struggle then. You'll be fine. Is this the PS now or will it be later? This is for the entire game. But it will be on PC first and then console later. But it's not out for a few weeks yet. It runs till tomorrow night. The drops do, yeah. I forgot they're fucking on. You just want a slight buff. It sounds a little bit selfish. Do you want a slight buff just for you? If so, that's okay. Everyone else can't have one. Just you buffed. Are you getting people dead? If you're making people die, then you need to be buffed a little bit. No, I'm joking. You just need to get good. I'm joking. Will the new expansion be on ESO Plus? Yes. Yes, it will. So this is the structure of it, basically. There's 4 updates a year. The first one is... You can buy them with crowns, by the way, if you wanted to. So you can have the special version or whatever. But you don't have to pay physical money for them. If you have ESO Plus, the DLC comes with it for the first quarter. The second quarter is usually a chapter, which is a standalone update that you do need to obviously purchase. But the base game stuff is still with it. So updates to the actual game are free, but the content you have to pay for. The third quarter is usually dungeons, much like the first one. That also comes with ESO Plus. And then the fourth one is usually, at the moment, a continuing story from the second one. So second one is a chapter. Fourth one is more Overland to do with the chapter. But again, that comes with ESO Plus as well. So 3 out of 4 a year come with ESO Plus, and the other one doesn't. Will I have the update? Will I have to update? You will have to update once it goes live, yes. Gotta make room. Well, the good thing about the ESO patches, and this has been something that they did a long time ago, is that it overlays on top of it. So while it might take a little bit more space, all the previous files that need to get deleted will just fucking go. Before, it used to just leave them on the side and then stack on top. Now it scrubs them out. So it doesn't take up that much space. Thank you for answering so far. You're welcome. Not a problem. But also, one more thing about ESO Plus. While the chapter during the year does cost, the next year when we get a new chapter, whichever was the previous one, goes onto ESO Plus. I'm pretty much done, actually. That's it. I like it. I'm not too gone with the Warden stuff, but I know that'll be adjusted. I'm not too gone with the Templar bit, but I know that'll be adjusted. The rest of it, we'll have to wait and see. Some of these sets look fucking bonkers, especially this one here. This fucking block mitigation bonus. Block mitigation bonus and health recovery. That in... Oh my god. Hoff, okay? Last boss. You know when the meteors come down and people struggle to out-heal that fucking shit? Well, first of all, build for bigger heals. Secondly, give people more mitigation so that they can have resistances and all the rest of it. Just put a Warden in there with a resistance buff, whatever. But that, 950 recovery. Troll King and that. Oh, madness. ESO Plus just let me totally forget about a bunch of things I used to worry about, like mats. Oh, man, the materials. The crafting bag is worth the fucking sub money alone. I would not be without that sub for the crafting bag itself. New quality of life looks really nice. Yeah, the quality of life stuff's really cool. The Armory Merchant in Cyrodiil is a game changer. That's a massive convenience for time. So I really like that stuff. I think that's pretty much it. There's not a lot. There's a few things to be excited about, but there's nothing to be overly stressed about. It's just, here's a list of stuff. See you in a few weeks. Even if it doesn't stack, if 2 people have the set, they should both get mitigation, right? Yeah, they do. Do you mean... Oh, you mean if one person uses... The wearer doesn't get the one that they're using. If you try and put 2 people together and make the other person have it, maybe. Who knows? You have to try it. It's player testable. We're reading off the stuff. We're not necessarily trying it out right now. There was something else I wanted to see, actually. Where was the other mythic? That wasn't a mythic, was it? It was... Thank you for the follow.
Drinks all around.
This shit. This is nuts. Resources for your group. If you actively heavy attack a lot, that's going to be a game changer. Really, really fun stuff. I want to see this one. That's going to be funny. No, that's the one I want to look at. That one. ESO Plus ran out recently. Couldn't even decon anything to make room for mats. We're more vulnerable than the item. I have ESO Plus on 3 different platforms on 6 different servers, and I would not cancel it unless I really had to. I just want to have fun and feel like I can add value to another player's game. Fair enough. Time for heavy attack heal sort build. Dude, have you seen what happened? Oh, I've got to explain this. I made a build video for someone the other day because there is a perk on Patreon where you can have your own personal video made for you, where nobody else gets to see it but you. And it was a healer build, which I can't tell you about because that would be leaking information on their personal video. But I can tell you part of it was introducing Empower to the healer on purpose. And you can do that by putting Galloway on a tank easy anyway. But the heavy attack from the resto with Empower, with dummy buffs, or trial buffs if you want, was so fucking powerful that the heavy attack pop was healing the user or somebody nearby for 57k. Just fucking leave your hots down, heavy attack all day long, major mending and pops forever. It's fucking mad. More than a breath of life. I've been missing out on groceries to cancel ESO. Yeah, indeed. It's all about how you build, Jelly. There are so many ways to build your character in this game, and to the smallest variable that literally there's no fucking limit. It's fucking nuts. But it's worse than Press for Life. Well, the thing is, at least the budgie. At least the budgie's fun. Breath of Life, you have to aim, and people just don't. Good evening, Tweety Girl. How you doing? Remember the 70k Sork Bear procs? Yeah, but they had to alter that because it was too powerful. And I have barely figured out how to build. Well, most people don't. Put stuff together, see if it works. Elegant 7 from Oregon is good for heavy attack Sork. I would disagree. Do you know why? First of all, this is a fucking meme. It's been on my channel forever. Like, did you try Elegant? Of course I fucking did. I'm not an idiot. But if you can get it from your group, why would you put it on a 5-piece bonus? Or if you can get it from a skill, you could use a whole 5-piece set instead of that and still just use one button to apply it. But if you want to, of course you can. That's why it's there. Very tired but good. Join the club. Thanks for stream. You're welcome. Right, people, I am going to have to go because it is almost midnight. Not that that's normally a problem, but I am fucking exhausted today. I am going to be testing my ass off with the new stuff, especially the Templar and the Warden, and especially with the new sets and stuff. You might see some of that during the week, but failing that, obviously Patreon Secret Ninjas are going to see that as well off stream.
Drinks all around.
I've got stuff and things to get done, and I need to get some food before I fucking faint. Thank you very much for being patient. The stream was actually very, very good audience-wise. There was no shitlords trying to get too far ahead of me reading, so appreciated. If you are not following on Twitch or subscribing on YouTube, obviously hit those buttons, they are free. Furthermore, if you want to help support outside the channel, there are some links in the info section for Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, the website zoneofgaming.com, and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Stay for the raid, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
That the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there. Oh man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing. Yup, that's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream.